Hi buddy, welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be doing another coaching session. So we're going to be looking at a Gold 5 Sona game today, and this is actually going to be kind of a special edition at the request of the donator here. So Shad wanted me to look at 3 different games, but only the laning phase of each game. So it's going to be maybe 10 minutes for each game, 10 to 15 minutes for each game. So I'm a little bit quicker on the initial game plan for each one, and I'm going to be a little more concise with the opportunities for improvement. So this is just going to be about laning, so if you want to see a lot about team fighting or late game rotations or anything like that, just go check out some other coaching videos after you watch this one, because this one's only going to be about the laning phase for 3 separate games. And we'll see how this goes. This is the first time that I've done this. Hopefully we can get it done within 45 minutes to an hour. I have to leave for class here in about an hour exactly, so it's going to be an hour long one way or another, so hopefully we can keep it together. I know that sometimes if I'm just presented with a lot of information, I just want to talk so much about it that you know, sometimes it's hard for me to stay within time constraints. But if you're interested in a coaching session, you can always set that up. Just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com, and I'm happy to do that for you. We can do it like this if this is successful, or we can just do a standard. I look at the entire game and comment over the entire game. You can see the different styles of coaching that I have in the playlist that I will link in the description to the video. So be sure to check that out. You can also find the email link there as well. It's just a $20 donation. I think that's a wonderful bargain for the amount of effort that I put into this and the amount of knowledge and just the amount of gains. A lot of people that have done these coaching sessions have said they've learned a ton about the game, they've gained a lot of ELO, and they've, you know, now have a better appreciation for the game. So, okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So as far as Shad goes, oh, and just how this is going to work as well, Shad and I were having problems getting Lol Replay 2 to work. So I'm going to have to log in through his account and just look through the actual client replay. And since it's on 3 different games, you can only have 1 replay open at a time. I don't do any video editing with these videos. I haven't mastered video editing. I just don't know how to do it right now, and I don't have time to figure it out today, and I really want to get this out to Shad today. So what we're going to do is after we do 10 to 15 minutes, I've already got the replays downloaded. I'm going to make the screen go black. I'm going to exit out. Screen's going to go black. I'm going to switch over, go into another game. We'll unblack the screen while it's loading. We'll do that one, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And then that way you don't see any of his account information. There's not really any sensitive information there anyways, but just a warning, the screen will go black for 10 to 15 seconds between each game. And I'll talk to you while we're doing that, but it's not a glitch or anything. I'm just trying to make it to where we don't see his account information as we switch over. Or not his information, but just like his friends list and stuff like that. Okay. So, plays a lot of Sona. This is a Sona game. This isn't accurate. It says he's only played 9 games, but here in his last, 20 games, he's obviously played way more than 9 ranked, so I'm not sure what's up with that. But either way, good job. He seems to be pretty proficient with Sona. Let's go ahead and talk about... he does have very good warding, most games. Like, he's got 8 control wards here. He's only has 1 in this loss, which we're going to look at. He only has 1 here, which we'll look at, and then he only has 2 here. So there are a couple of games where you have some pretty good control wards here, but you definitely want to step it up and try to do at least 5 per game. A good rule of thumb that I recommend to people is 5 control wards per game, and you place 1 normal ward per minute per game. So for instance, this one was what, 40 minutes? You should have somewhere around 40 wards placed. And you're clocking in at about 27. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but you should have, quite a few wards placed, especially if you're rushing the 4-ward item, which I don't recommend. I'll talk about that here in a second. But if you're rushing that, then you're definitely going to have to leverage those extra wards to make it anywhere remotely worth the cost. Okay, so as far as your masteries go, those look pretty good. I had those pulled up here. They look pretty good. I would say that I tend to like intelligence as well over this. This is really good for early game pressure with the lethality and the magic penetration. It's going to fall off outside of laning phase, and intelligence is going to be much better outside of laning phase. It's going to give you more ults primarily. Sona has pretty low cooldowns on most of her stuff, but getting that extra 5% cooldown, especially on your ult, could potentially be very important because Sona's ult is paramount to her kit. She really can't do a lot in team fights without her ult. I mean, she can spam shields and run around and do some other stuff, but her ult's really, really important to her, so you want that up as often as you can have it. Everything else looks good. I like it. I like Insight, I like Wind Speakers. Some people go Thunderlords. I highly recommend Wind Speakers because it scales so well with Redemption and Locket, so I think overall it's pretty solid. As far as the runes go, I believe it says work in process here, which is, you know, you've only got 2 rune pages, so I assume that you just don't have a lot of IP. Is this your first season? This is your first season, it looks like. So, playing ranked, as far as I can tell, at least on this account. So, that's understandable. So, what are you working with here? Okay, I like the armor. Some people will go with magic penetration or dual penetration runes. I like armor. It scales the best of all of them into the mid and late game because you're not going to be building a lot of AP. At least I don't recommend AP Sona. I know some people like that. I personally don't recommend it. Armor and health is fine. I know the health ones are expensive. These are the best for the early game, but armor is also pretty good. I would substitute out these ability power ones. You just don't really get a good rate. You only get 0.59. It's just much, much better just to go ahead and just run more armor runes there instead. So armor's the cheap version. Health is the expensive version. They're both about similar in terms of their efficacy in lane. A lot of people run the flat health, but once again, the difference is negligible. I think flat health is worth... It's worth almost... Where do we go here? It's worth about the same as armor, I believe. Armor's worth about 5% more total gold value, like 5 or 6% more gold value. Armor's worth 20 gold per armor. So it's negligible. It's about the same amount of overall stat value. So you can just run more armor there and that'll be fine. As far as this, mana regen's okay. I highly recommend running more magic resist if you can and just managing your spells better in lane. Because once you get a couple of fairy charms early, then those mana regen runes are going to fall off big time. But the magic resist runes are going to be relevant throughout the whole game. Because, I mean, think about it. Like, 1 fairy charm, Sona has 12... I believe she has 12 base mana regen. Yeah, 11.5 base mana regen. 1 fairy charm is going to give you at least 3 mana per 5. So, and you can get a fairy charm on your very first back, typically. It's very rare if you can't get one on your first back. So, you know, having 1 fairy charm is... This is only giving you a grand total of 1.2 mana per 5 on those runes. So 1 fairy charm is going to give you, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 times as much power as these runes, which is not a great rate considering how cheap fairy charms are. So mana regen is a very cheap stat, and you can get 1, sometimes even 2 fairy charms on your first back. Sometimes even Forbidden Idol, depending on the matchup. So, you know, I would recommend going Magic Resist. Magic Resist, the 1.34 Magic Resist is going to be worth about 20 gold. And I don't know the exact amount on a fairy charm here, but it's the magic resist is just a better bargain. Another thing to consider would be cooldown reduction, flat cooldown reduction. I run that on a lot of supports. Now, Sona does have fairly low cooldowns to begin with, and she is kind of strapped for mana, so you know, spamming her abilities is not necessarily the best early game before you get those fairy charms. So I think magic resist is probably a pretty reasonable option. I would just run some more magic resist if you can. Quintessences. I'm not a huge fan of ability power. I know a lot of people will get ability power on Sona, but if you look at her stats, she really doesn't scale that well with ability power. You're only going to get a 0.5 ratio on her Q. Now, yes, it can hit 2 people. Maybe. Like, if they both just happen to be in range of this, then that's okay. But your primary target that you're trying to harass is only going to get 0.5 of that. You know, your heal is only 0.25. That's really low. The shield strength is 0.3. Also pretty low. The power cord itself, when it does its damage, is only a 0.2 ratio. So, you know, if you have 2 quints, that's going to give you about 10 ability power. So you're going to deal 2 more damage on your power cord. You're going to deal 5 more damage on your Q. So that's okay. But if you compare that to something like the armor, which is basically going to make you 4.5% per quint, So if you have 2 of them, you know, you're looking at about 9% more resistant to physical damage. That's a big deal. I mean, in the mid game, if something hits you for 1,000 physical damage, it's going to do somewhere. It's going to be reduced somewhere in the neighborhood of 100. It's not exact math on how the armor works, but just the armor scales really well late game, and it basically makes every 1% armor that you have, someone has to do 1% more physical damage to kill you. So it's very, very good even into the mid and the late game. Even just a little bit more armor can make a big difference. Whereas this, you know, when you're hitting someone for an extra 5 damage with your AP at, you know, 20 minutes into the game, it's not going to matter. But that armor, you know, negating an extra 10%, 9 or 10% physical damage, that can be a really big deal. So that's why I highly recommend running armor. So move speed quints is another thing to think about. I like move speed quints because Sona can speed up with her E, but she still is very susceptible to getting ganked. She has virtually no escapes, and having that extra 10 move speed by running 2 move speed quints is a really big deal. That can get you out of a lot of tough situations. So I highly recommend running 2 move speed quints and an armor quint. People would probably run, or you could run the armor quints, just 3 armor quints, and that'd be really good. Because you're going to be taking a lot of autos if you're doing it right in lane, right? So you're going to have to walk up, Q, auto them, and that means that more than likely they're going to auto you back, and you're going to be getting hit by minions whenever you auto attack them. So having that armor is particularly good on Sona because she just naturally trades hits, auto attack hits with people in lane typically. So having that extra armor is good. So I would probably, for Sona, I don't know. I really love my move speed quints, but I can definitely see the reasoning behind running just all armor quints. And that could be a reason why you would want to run armor yellows over HP yellows as well. Especially because armor scales really well with shielding and healing. Whereas health doesn't really do that. That just affects your ability to do an all-in fight effectively. So I would actually probably, you know, the more that I think about it, I would recommend all armor reds, all armor yellows, and probably all armor quints, and then maybe a magic resist for the blues. If you're against a magic user bottom, which I think you're against Lulu in a couple of these, so that seems like some pretty sound advice. Yep. Now, as far as like what you're leveling up in lane, and you do the same build every time is what I see, I highly recommend switching over once you get past level 6, once you get out of the laning phase. And we're not going to be doing a lot of that today. We're just going to be primarily looking at laning phase. You will want to switch over to your W. And sometimes even in lane, especially if you fall behind, you want to switch over to W. Because this is it makes your heal much more efficient for the mana cost. So, you know, your cost at level 1, it's cost 80 and it's only healing 35 health. That's pretty low. However, once you move up, you know, once you get this to level 5, it heals for 115 for 100 mana. So not amazing, but much better than 80 to heal 35. So at least you're getting more health than you're actually paying in mana, which is good. And remember that heals 2 people as well. So, and another reasoning behind that is you're not going to be able to Q harass as much outside of lane, especially if you're not building AP Sona. So you're not going to be able to just walk up and power chord that, you know, Jhin that's got a Ghost Blade or a BF or something like that, because he's just going to hit you back too hard. Whereas the W is always going to be relevant. You're always going to need to be healing and shielding people, and that's just really good in team fights as well. For the shield, that applies to everybody who's close to you, as well as the person that you're healing. Yeah, so you get that 130 shield. So it only heals for 115, but you get 130 shield out of it too, which is a pretty good rate in a team fight. So this is what you need to be leveling up outside of lane. So once you get past level 5, I would put 1 or 2 points in Q in lane, depending on how much harass you're doing, depending on how lane dominant you are. And then switching over and at level 5 or level 7, starting to max your W next. And then of course you max your E last. Alright. It also scales really good with Windspeaker. So having extra healing, shielding, very good with Windspeaker, very good with the plus healing off of Redemption and Ardent Sensor. So overall, it's a win. Overall, your build order in these games is pretty similar, and it looks pretty good for the most part. The one thing that I personally recommend is not to get Eye of the Watchers. I talk about this a lot on the stream. People ask me this constantly. Well, why don't I ever upgrade my gold item? Why do I sell it? And I went ahead and put a link here to my FAQ question number 3. Got it pulled up here. It's going to be in an itemization video that I'm going to make soon. I'll explain this in a lot more depth. But I do explain it here, and I talk about it virtually every stream. But basically, the gold items are not efficient. You're not going to get really effective combat stats out of the gold items. It's much, much better if you just rush Redemption or lock it. Typically Redemption. Sona really needs that mana. If you just rush Redemption faster, it's going to be better for you. That also frees you up to get Ruby Sightstone, which will make you more durable so you don't die as fast. And it'll also give you a 20% cooldown reduction on your Redemption and your Locket. So if you're playing a champion and you're going to buy both Redemption and Locket, and you benefit from that 20% cooldown on both of them, you almost certainly want Ruby Sightstone, because that's a huge deal. I mean, think about if an item said 20% cooldown on your ultimate for most champions. You'd say, yeah, that's really awesome. Well, that's basically what this is. I mean, Locket and Redemption are 2 of the most powerful effects in the game. So they're more powerful than a lot of ultimates out there. So, you know, I highly, highly recommend going that path of Redemption into Ruby Sightstone into Locket. And one of the big things is you don't need that 4th ward. People are not going to be fighting you for your wards if you're placing them in the appropriate areas at this ELO, at Gold 5. They're just not going to contest you for the wards that much. I mean, how many pinks are the enemies buying here? Like this... The entire enemy team bought 1 pink. They're not going. They only have 1 sweeper on their team, so they are not going to contest you for these wards. So there's really no point in having 4 wards. It's nice. It lets you stay out a little bit longer, but it's much, much better just to get Redemption, have that raw team fight capabilities, and really snowball your team and get ahead early. Because when you complete... you only get a 21-minute Redemption here. You get a 12-minute Watchers. Now, Watchers is not free. Like, you do have some components, right? But you have to spend, you know, an additional about 1,000 gold to get this. That means you could get Redemption 1,000 gold faster, which is probably 2 backs faster, depending on how many kills and assists you're getting and how many towers you get. So that's probably in the neighborhood of 5 or 6 minutes. So you could have a 15-minute Redemption instead of a 21-minute Redemption. So, and we already said that Sona doesn't scale super well with AP, at least according to the math. I know people like to build AP on Sona, but just mathematically, she doesn't. Like, that's just all there is to it. Like, sometimes it feels like she hurts when she gets a Lich Bane, but that's the interaction with her power cord and the Sheen proc. But anyways, so, I mean, it's up to you. You will see a lot of pro or high-end players get that, and the reason is they need 4 wards, because their wards are constantly getting swept, they're constantly getting pinked. They have to keep vision up. It's paramount at all elos to keep vision up, but people will actually fight you for it at the challenger level where they won't fight you for it. It's just a gold level, a platinum level, or even at a low diamond level, people will not fight you for that vision that much. So that's something that I highly recommend. If you want to know more, read my FAQ, and then I'm going to have more details about it in my new itemization video, which should come out over the next couple of days. Okay, so Eye of the Watchers, good item, not as good as Redemption. So I would highly recommend that you get that Redemption faster, especially, you know, that you can actually get it during your laning phase sometimes. So even before the towers break, you can have Redemption, and that's really, really powerful. If you have Redemption and the enemy support does not have Redemption, you basically win every single 2v2. It's almost impossible to lose a 2v2, because when you go into a 2v2, even if they get a good jump on you, like, if you just drop that Redemption right on top of your AD carry and just exhaust them, it's such a huge swing. Like, your AD carry is going to get a quarter of their health back or more, and you're going to do 10% true damage to their AD carry, and you're going to gain a lot of health back. It's just absurd. Like, the item is so ridiculous. Or if there's a huge fight breaking out middle, you can go use your Redemption on the mid lane and completely turn that fight around, because the range is absurd on it. So, you really, really, really want Redemption as fast as you can possibly get it. This will also help you with your mana regeneration early on, which Sona definitely needs a lot of mana. And Ruby Sightstone makes you more durable, so you can't get one-shotted by those Talons out there and stuff like that. Okay, let's go ahead and get in here. So this is the 2-5-4 game. Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure I've got them lined up in order here. Yeah, 2-5-4, and this should be Ashe Sona versus Lulu Jhin. Okay, Ashe Sona, Lulu Jhin. Okay, I wish I could pull them around on here. That's pretty annoying, but okay, we'll go ahead and do it. So they switch roles, I suppose. All right, so remember, we're going to go through this. We're going to cut it off once the towers break, bottom lane. Or, you know, 10 or 15 minutes, whichever one comes first. Probably 10 minutes to make more sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and speed this up. Oh, I didn't talk. Let me... Hold on a second. Let me go just real quick mention the pregame that I had for each one of these. Yeah, actually, pause. Okay. So for this game, you want to be aggressive. You're against the Lulu. You have a heal. She doesn't. So you want to be attacking them, using your power chords offensively in lane a lot. Watch out for Zac. He has very creative gank paths. He can fly out of nowhere. You don't have any way to stop him. Like a Janna can knock him out of flight. Lulu can potentially W him to shut him up. But you don't have anything that's going to stop him from flying in and landing right on top of you. So you want to make sure you keep good ward coverage of that tribe bush if you can. Or just, I forgot which side you're on. I haven't looked. I'll have to look when we get in there. But you want to make sure you have good vision of him. And I'll show you some when we get in there, places where you could ward. So just be very careful of that. Be very careful of a Talon roam. So Talon is notorious for doing very well if he snowballs early game and going down bottom lane. And you're a sitting duck. People know that Sona is very susceptible to ganks. They know that they can kill you really easily, especially before you're level 6. And you really can't defend yourself. So you have a huge bullseye on your head whenever you play Sona bottom lane. Especially if you're doing well, because they're going to start complaining, hey, the Sona's really pushed, or she's beating us up, help us, please, help us bottom lane. So, you want to watch out for that. Okay, you're bot lane. So, where you want to ward here, you want to ideally ward here and knock out that blast plant so that Zac doesn't get a free gank. And if you get pushed into here, like this is kind of the danger zone early on. You do not want to be past here because Zac can jump over from here and he can land about like here. Minions have spawned. Like probably like within this range. So you want to be very careful when you push up. He could walk around and go through the tri-bush. Not many Zacs go for the wraparound. They usually just like to fly over this wall. But you definitely want to knock out that blast plant so that he can't get into this bush for free and then jump out of this bush at you. Alright, let me slow it up. Okay, yeah, so pushing's good. What'd you start with? Spell Thieves? Yeah, that's good. Can we... Okay, I can adjust that. That's good. That's a little bit less annoying. Flashing. Okay, that's good. Good power chord trading. Yeah, hang back a little bit. Okay, this is good. I like it. What's this Lulu rolling with here? Okay, so she has 20 ability power, so she can actually hit you back a little bit. She doesn't have any 80 runes. You need to be looking at this stuff. Okay, Talon. Gotta kill. Wait, you have the Talon, right? Okay, I'll change that in the notes. I don't know what I'm talking about. You have the Talon. Diana is similar, though. Like, my warning for Talon is similar to Diana. If she gets ahead early, then she could roam down and cause some trouble for you. Okay. So you have the Talon. That's good news. Okay. Get up there. Get aggressive. You're full mana. Especially if you're going to be running mana regeneration runes. And you need to try to harass the Jhin. So try to make your damage stick to Jhin. He's going to have less potions. Tell your Ashe to get up there too. So ping her, say, hey, let's get aggressive so I can use my heal. Just something like that. There you go, that was good. Okay, good. Go up there, hit him. Hit him, hit him. Take damage before you use your heal. Because your heal is not very efficient if it's just healing one person. You really want it to heal both people for the maximum amount, and then it's pretty efficient. So yeah, I would have waited on that heal a little bit. You also want to wait until they're about to hit you, when they're going to hit you back, and then heal, so that you get the shield plus the heal. Because right now, you're not really using the shield portion. You're just using the heal. So Sona's, if you're just using Sona's W just as a single target heal, without using the shield and without healing multiple targets, then it's not worth it. That was good, because that shield actually blocked part of the grenade. Okay, try to run up here. Try to run through this right now. Run through here and go help him. You need to ping your team back at this point. Once Yi's there is done. Yeah, you need to be up here. You need to be up here. Okay. It's a little close. Auto. Turn around. Fight him. I think you can beat him. I mean, they're out of mana. They're only level 3. Yeah, once you exhaust, go in there. Like, Sona does a lot early. So, like, you slowed them down with the exhaust, but it really didn't help. Because, like, the damage reduction didn't help. Okay, I'll go back and look at it here in a second. Yeah, I think you guys could have won that. Okay, let me go back a little bit here. So if you use your exhaust, you want to try to fight. Okay, let me go back. Okay. So he's in trouble up here, so he's pinging help. So you should see him. Now you are pushed in. Okay, use your W to heal. Use your W here. You should have enough mana. There you go. Okay, so start rotating up here. You have to make a choice here. Either you ping him back and just tell him to let him die, or you have to go up there and try to help, I think. Now, it is a little dicey, but let's see how this unfolds. So, I'm a little sketched out at first. I'm not sure if you should go up there. But once Ashe goes up there, you need to go. Right there. Okay, so Ashe goes up, and you should have W'd right there to heal both of you up. Or actually, I would wait on the W until you get into the fight so you can use that shield like I talked about before. But once Ashe starts going up there, you need to follow the Ashe. Like, there's enough CS here where you're, like, it's not going to go into your tower. So I'm going to say, team fight, follow Ashe. Use shield in lane. Trying to remember, so use the shield in lane and double heal. Tell ally to be more aggro. So there are like nice ways you can do it. There are some people, like, they just don't realize how Sona's heal works. So they won't go aggressive. They'll just do their autopilot thing, but just tell them, get aggressive so I can heal you, so we can use my heal. Let's beat them up, you know, that type of thing. Just let them know. And sometimes they won't listen, but you should at least tell them. Okay. Now, their exhaust is down. If you're watching this, you'd see their exhaust is down. I don't remember, you know, I don't know if you're watching it or not. But they don't have exhaust anymore. You have a heal. Like, Sona is very, very good at these early small-scale skirmishes, because that heal's huge. Okay, good. So that did block part of that. So that's good. With your W. This does look kind of scary, but Diana can't do anything. Like, before she's level 6, she really doesn't do anything. And Jin's out of mana. The Lulu's really low. Yi is scary. I would just maybe hold your exhaust there and just kind of see what happens. The slowdown, like, you use it on Diana, but she has no gap closer, really, until she gets to level 6. There's no way that she's going to get on the Ashe anyways. And Jin's not going to get on the Ashe, because he already used his W, and he has no mana. So the slow is really not necessary. If you stayed close here, I don't know. Like, this Yi is pretty scary. I think if you had your exhaust right here, because you probably have enough mana for one more W. If you had your exhaust right here, then I think you could have double killed these two. Let me see. Yeah, Zach's coming in. Yi's kind of out of the play already. Okay, so she flashed the Zach, which was good. Oh, use your Q. You definitely want to use your E or your W there to heal people. Once Yi shows up, it's time to go. So I would turn around and run right now. Okay, you did get a kill in there, which is good. But you need to run. Run, run, run. Ashe is dead. Just run. Yeah, she should have run. W, you probably don't have enough mana. So yeah, that was okay. It was just like some hesitation. Like, I think you could have gone up with the Ashe earlier when she went and just take a peek and see what happens. And then right there, I think you could have collapsed once you saw Zac coming down, potentially. Yi is scary. Once Yi shows up, you have to leave. So, I don't remember if you had vision. Like, I don't think you had vision of Yi, like, where he was. Like, he could have been flanking around over here. So, you know, that one's a confusing one. But I think that definitely following Ashe, and then once you see the 3 people and your Zac's about to close right here, like, if you still had your exhaust, you could have gone. So I know the instinct is just run up and just slow them down so they don't catch you, but, you know, just stop and think also that, you know, they can't really do anything at that point if you look at their mana bars. So it's hard to have that kind of restraint. I probably would have exhausted somebody in there too, but the correct play is to hold it. And just wait until your team's actually going to fight. Using exhaust for just a slow when it doesn't like mitigate any damage is not really that useful. Okay, look at his items. Whenever someone comes back, especially after they get a couple of kills, see what they have. Okay, so we got a serrated Dirk. That's not great news for you, but it's better than a BF sword. Like, it's better for you. It's worse for him than him having a BF sword. Now, he has red buff also, which is not great. Yeah, you should just chill. Okay, his red buff's gone. What does Ashe have? You got your W? No, I assume it's probably on cooldown. This is rough. What did you buy on your first pack? This. I don't know if you're afraid of Yi or Diana or what, but they are maybe about to hit 6. I would probably stay because your team, like, this is going to take about half damage on this tower. And you're losing a lot of experience here. Like, they're both going to be 6 probably when you're both 4. So, typically, unless they're going to dive you or, like, just kill you under tower, then you should stay for the experience. Especially because you have a self-heal. Okay. So I'm going to say stay for XP at tower. And stay for the experience at the tower. Okay, they pinged it. You're headed over there. Okay, yeah, stick with him. One thing you can also do in fights that you should be looking for is try to hit them with your green power cord to reduce damage. That's the best power cord that you have in fights, typically, is the damage reduction one. So watch your power cord and try to only use your auto if it's going to be a power cord, if it's a green one. So you're really far behind here, so you should definitely, like, once you hit level 5, since Ashe has died a couple of times, you really need to start maxing your W so that you have better healing and shielding. You're probably not going to be able to fight him. You might be able to fight him right here before Lulu hits 6, but she's probably going to hit 6 off of this cannon, I would guess. Because he's 6, and I don't think she's died. No. And she's going to be a little behind because of her warding, but... Now, she didn't get experience from that cannon minion. Okay, now she's 6. Now there's no way you're killing him. 2 on 2, at least not for a little bit. Okay, what does Ashe have? Does she have a BF sword yet? What is she? Caulfield's. I mean, that's Essence Reaver, right? I don't know. Yeah, you're about out of mana here. You know, in this lane, since you're losing it so hard and it's very attrition... Healer, healer, healer. Yeah, it would have been nice if you went up there a little bit faster. No, y'all, Ash is about to die. Yeah. Okay, so one itemization option here, since you can, like, you're virtually always out of mana here. You know, a big deal that would help is if you had a second point in W to make your heals much more efficient. And then also, if on your first back, instead of getting Sightstone, if you went ahead and got 2 Fairy Charms and started working towards redemption immediately and just delayed your Sightstone a little bit, just so that you had the mana regen, because you know you're going to be behind. Once Jin gets those 2 kills, you're not going to fight him, and he's going to beat the daylights out of your Ashe. So, having those 2 Fairy Charms would help so much with your mana early on. I mean, you might even be able to get 3 Fairy Charms, and just use one of them later just to turn it into a, you know, just to work towards Ardent Censer. Just get like 2 or 3 Fairy Charms early. Even if you just have to sell the Fairy Charm later, it's not the end of the world, because if you buy it for 125, you sell it back for 88, you know, it's going to be like, what, 37 gold to rent a Fairy Charm. I used to do this a lot last season with Tom Kench. I would just rent a Fairy Charm so I could harass more in lane. Because they didn't build into anything good, really, back then on tank champions. So, I would definitely get, like, just 2 or 3 Fairy Charms, a Rejuve Bead, and then just delay your Sightstone by 1 back. And it is really important to have vision, but it's also important not to let this gen go on a rampage. So I'm going to say buy more charms if behind. Get points in W if behind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call it there for this one, because that's the laning phase is done, and I think that's the biggest thing you could have done. So in the team fight, follow Ashe. Well, I'll go ahead and go out here, and then we'll sum this one up. So game 1. Follow Ashe at the big team fight. And then leverage, shield, and double heal in lane more, and that's by telling. That's also related to tell ally to be more aggressive early, and that way you're getting the maximum amount out of your heal, and then while you're actually trading auto attacks with the enemy, then you use the W while you're trading autos so that you get that shield benefit as well, because the shield is not insignificant. I mean, even at level 1, it blocks for 30, so instead of just healing for 35 on both people, if you can block 30 damage as well as heal 35, that's almost 100% more efficient. You're getting way more bang for your buck, because if you just heal one person with this is a garbage heal. It's really expensive. It's 80 mana just for 35 heal, which is just atrocious. But if it's a shield, you know, if all of a sudden it's 65 per person, and it's, you know, working on 2 people, then all of a sudden it's 130 damage mitigation if you use it correctly during trades. So then all of a sudden, you know, 80 mana for 135 mitigation is still pretty expensive, but that's certainly a lot more reasonable than, you know, 80 mana for 35. You know, it's about 4 times as efficient on that heal if you use it properly like that. So that's important to keep in mind. Buy more Fairy Charms early, especially if you are behind. So I talked about before, 2 of them will build into a Forbidden Idol for redemption. 1 of them you can hold on to for another Forbidden Idol for Ardent Censer down the line. But if you need the inventory space while you're building redemption and buying control wards and all that good stuff, then you could just sell 1 of them and buy it back later. It's only... what did I say? 37 gold? Yeah, 12 plus 25. It sells for 88. You buy it for 125. So it's only 37 gold to rent it. Which 37 gold to rent a lot more mana regeneration in lane, so that your people don't die is a big deal. Because if Ashe would have had a lot more health there, she could have gone in with the Zac, and you probably would have had a double kill. But because she might have been dead. I think she had to use her own heal. So that would have helped a lot. And just dedicate your mana at that point when you're really far behind to the healing and shielding, and don't use as much on the blue. So on your Q. And then finally, let's see, stay for experience. Stay for experience at a tower unless you might die. Because that gave them a huge level advantage. And that way, Ashe is going to be behind because she died in experience, but at least you might hit level 6 faster. Like, you will hit level 6 faster. So that means if Zac comes for a gank, you can still potentially double ult and make a play. Even if Ashe is behind, you're sort of making up for that by being a higher level yourself. Which would also give you more points in W, some more healing, more efficiency, all that good stuff. I think I said get more points in W. So the big things there, I think, was that team fight was catastrophic, and then just kind of running out of gas in the laning phase, running out of mana, and just getting beaten up by the Jhin. Okay, so let's look at game number 2 here really quick. So we're going to exit out of this. And then I'm going to go black screen here for a second. So don't... Okay, let me go black screen here, and then we'll investigate. Okay, so let's go black screen here. Okay, so I guess if you exit out of the replay, it'll temporarily pull you into the into that. There's no information here that's a big deal, I don't think. But anyways, what is the time? Okay, so we'll do 4100. I'll clear this with Shad. Just make sure that he's cool with the little bit of information that flashed up there really quickly. I don't think it's a big deal, but if it is, I'll just make it into a private video for him, and it's not a huge deal, but it shouldn't be a big deal. But anyways, we'll go ahead and do the black screen really quickly, and then our second game here should be, what, 1-4-23? I believe, let me look. 1-4-23, yes, okay. Okay, I've got it loading up here. Like I said, I'm kind of getting used to this type of setup here. Okay, so we'll exit out of that. We'll take off the black screen. There we go. All right, we should be good to go. All right, we'll go ahead and speed this up here. Make sure we get through these in time. Alright, so this is the one where they have the Talon. So you want to be really careful with this Talon if he gets ahead. Now, you should be pushing with Sivir in lane, which means you're going to be susceptible to a gank by a Lee and a Talon. And I think it's harder to ward red side, because you have to really have 2 wards. You have to be able to ward here and ward here. Whereas if you're on blue side, you know, a lot of times if you can just ward like around here, they have to wrap so much further around to get behind you. So I don't know, they both have their challenges in terms of warding and positioning, but you want to be really careful. Lee Sin is notoriously powerful early on. Now he's probably going to start blue. Almost everybody starts bot side because you get a better leash. So he's probably going to start blue and then go to top side. So you should be okay for the first 3 minutes if he doesn't show up, like, you know, immediately. You should be good for another 2 minutes or so. Oh, I thought you got the blue for a second. I saw the gold. I was like, uh-oh. That was him. Okay. You want to push this hard. You want to stack your damage on Lulu. Yeah, go ahead. There you go. Now, if she starts shielding a lot of your damage, what you can do is auto-attack first. Put this over here. Game 1. We're working on game 2 here. So let's see how this Lulu trades. Yeah, you want to be... Did I say put it on Lulu? You should be putting the damage on Caitlyn because she's going to have less potions than Lulu, typically. Most people still get a Doran's Ring to start. Yeah. Oh, God. It's... Okay, she still has heal. Yeah, y'all need to be careful. Why are you behind? Oh, because I think you stayed up there too late at the blue, and then she pushed really hard. Okay. Now, remember, once again, you want to go up and trade. Get some damage on yourself before you heal her. So try to go up and just land a couple of autos on Caitlyn, hit Lulu a couple of times. You don't want to use your heal if you're full health. And you want to use it in combat so that you get that shield. So go up, pick a fight with Caitlyn, auto-attack her a couple of times. And then shield. Or then heal. So that at least you get the benefit of the shield on you. And make sure that you always use your power cord when it's up. Like, there were a few times there where you had power cord up for like 3 different spells. You could have landed 2 power cords. So it's not a huge deal, but make sure you do that. You shield on W more. Use power cord more. Okay. Yeah, so that's probably why you're running into these mana efficiency problems. I don't remember if you said something in your emails about that. We've talked a lot via email. But I hear a lot of people say they run into mana problems with Sona. And she is a mana hog. But you have to use her shield efficiently, and it's sneaky. Like, you can't use it like other heals. You really have to use it while you're in the middle of a fight so you get that little shield. And it doesn't look like much, but it's a big deal in terms of efficiency. Because if you just sit there and heal, it's not going to be nearly as good as like a Nami or a Soraka or, you know, most other healers in the game. But if you go up there and trade, it's better. So you're getting zoned. I mean, there's not a lot you can do here. Sivir's just not a good pick right now. And Caitlyn just outranges her big time. I think Sivir's range is like 500 maybe. It's really low. I don't remember if it's quite that low, but it's very low. Okay, that's good. Alright, Gragas is coming down. He should use this Blast Plant. Now, you need to ping him. Do you have your W? No, don't flash that. The reason you don't want to flash that, like, use Flash Exhaust for a slow, but you really need your flashes, Sona. Like, if Lee Sin comes down here now and you don't have your flash, you're like 100% dead. If you're pushed up. He could even, like, fly over this wall, because he's going to be level 6 probably pretty soon. You got to keep in mind that the jungler and the mid laner, they're going to be at least 1 level up on you. Typically. So when you're 4 or 5, they're going to be 6 very soon. And now Talon is 6. Lee's a little behind. Like, if Talon comes rolling up over this wall when you're out here, or even just, like, right here, and just all ends you before you're level 6, if you don't have Exhaust and Flash, you're dead. The same thing with Lee. If he, like, comes rolling up past here and, like, kicks you or something, you're probably dead. Okay, so I'm going to write down, be more careful with summoners. And that's your judgment call. If you don't have E there at level 3, that's understandable. A lot of people don't get it until level 4. If you think someone's going to come and gank for you, you need to get it at level 3, but otherwise, in this lane, I would level up your W, because you're just getting massacred. You just need more healing right now. So there's no point in leveling up your Q, because you're going to have to spend most of your mana healing, because you're just getting butchered. And a lot of that, once again, is not your fault, per se. Because Sivir's just not a good pick here. But that's just something you have to adapt to. I would get a lot of Fairy Charms right here. Yeah, and once again, you went for the Sightstone, which is typically an intelligent choice. Because obviously you want Vision. Vision wins games. But in this lane, because you're getting massacred... yeah, I mean, she's up like almost 50% CS. She's going to be up levels now too, because you just lost a lot to tower. Could you have stayed for... I think you have to back because you're out of mana. Like in the last game, I think you could have stayed to get that experience, but on that one, I think you have to back. And I would just come rolling back up with like 3 Fairy Charms, a Rejuve Bead, and like a Ruby Crystal or something. So just get half of the Sight Stone. And you don't like... Vision is good, but you don't need it as much if you're just pushed in a tower the whole time. Just your 2 little normal wards that you have. As long as you keep 1 on the bear, like the dragon is fine. Like just keep 1 in this area. That way you'll see if they're coming around to flank behind you probably. Like Lee could get sneaky and like go this way and jump over this wall and then kick you, but it's not going to happen in Gold 5 probably. Just keep a ward on the dragon area and just come back with a bunch of regeneration items. And I think that would suit you a lot better here. What's her items? Okay. Now, they have basically the same items. Caitlyn's up a boot. So it's not that bad, but they are up levels though. They're both 6. So you don't want to fight until you get to level 6. Which, I can't see your experience, but... so I'm going to say level W more. What's going on here? Okay. You need to heal. Go auto-attack Caitlyn and heal. Yeah, you see how you're... I definitely don't E there. You see how you're basically, like, your 80s carry in both of these games has been just run out of lane a lot, and you're, like, constantly out of mana. It's because you don't have any points in your W. Like, you put all your points in your Q, and your W basically just sucks right now. It's 80 mana, and the way that you're using it, it's only going to heal them for 35. So that's not a good trade. So I think that's probably the biggest thing right now that I notice is itemization and skill order, especially for a losing lane. Yeah, you see that, right? You need to leave. I think. You don't have mana. You're level 5. You don't even have an ult. I would just leave. I would ping back right now and leave. If they walk up here with this wave, like you see Gragas is nowhere close, you're dead. Now he went early, which was not very smart, I don't think, but you're gonna die anyways. And they might even kill the teleporter here. Talon's coming. I don't think they might kill Swain. Yeah, he stepped out past the tower. Yeah, that was brutal. I mean, I don't like to say that games are over, but that right there, that's a 4-kill Infernal, which is huge. So what you should do right there is just leave, like you saw him. You didn't have mana. You're not level 6, and this is a place where I think are your summoners still down? No, your summoners were back, but okay. So when should you have backed? Let me see. So you have this warded. You need to try to keep a ward on this because Jax can do it early. Like you're right here, right now. Okay, run. You need to run right now. He's also level 9. What? Okay, so he's been like getting a lot of solo lane experience when mid lane has died or something. He's level 9. So you need to tell your Sivir, who has ult right now, just like ping back as soon as you see him roll up there and say ult, 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 like ult and run. Just say ult, run, ult, run, ult, run, like 3 times in chat and just start running. If he doesn't run, whatever, like just get out of there, because if that Jax catches you, you're dead. He should be able to get out. So if she pops her ult right now and you use your E and you just run right up the side here, then she should be able to spell shield and get away. You also have exhaust and you can flash. And she has heal. So you should be able to get out of there. But you need to run like immediately once you see that Jax. Because you can see that Zed is over here. Gragas is nowhere close to you right now. You have no help. And right now he doesn't have a wave. So that means that Caitlyn and Lulu can't really help him. So it's just going to be him. Whereas if that wave gets on the tower, especially with the Lulu ult, they can very easily dive you and kill you. So there's no way that you live right now with that Jax if he gets on you when that wave hits the tower. So I'm going to say leave immediately on dangerous dives. How are we looking on time? Okay, so leave immediately on dangerous dives. We're doing okay. We got to pick it up a little bit here. So that's, I mean, that's a game-deciding play right there. There's 4 kills, Infernal, maybe Dragon. Or maybe Tower. No, they're just going to get those for it. But I mean, should Gragas be bot side? Yes, probably. He does have to get his red buff at some point, but you know, that's still, the power is in your hands to change that. You definitely want boots here also, because you're getting murdered. Like, you need to be able to move quickly. Sona can get caught out very easily. Your lane is very, very far behind, and you have just a bullseye on your head right now. Yeah, Caitlyn's going to murder you. She's up a Zeal. If you get into a fight with her. If Jax comes rolling up out of these bushes, you're dead. If he comes rolling up out of here, you're dead. If you try to go ward and he's just hiding somewhere cute, like in a dragon pit or like in a random bush somewhere, you're dead. You might be able to get out with your ult, but it's gonna be scary. Oh, Jax is 5-0 also. Yeah, you don't want any of that. So what should you be doing right now? Just pushing in, I guess, but you can't really control this try at this point. This try bush. Man, it's tough. You should almost just let this fall and just go mid lane or something. Who's doing well on your team? Zed and Gragas are doing all right. Talon is six kills now also. Wait, what is their Jax? Oh, I thought Jax was their jungler. Okay. Okay. You got exhaust? You don't have exhaust. Heal. Use your heal. Okay. You guys could... No, Lee's coming. Okay, so that Jax walked all the way down there without teleport from top lane. I thought he was their jungler. At first. Wow. This Jax is going hard. Yeah, okay, so you figured it out this time. So you did leave this time. That's good. Yeah, if you see someone flanking you on that try, if your jungler's not close, you need to just leave. They're going to get the tower. And they're probably going to snowball this game and just win. He's too big right now. They might kill him right here. Probably not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. So that's it for the laning on this one. So the big story here, the same thing. Use your shield W more. Use your power cord more. Be careful with your summoners, level up W in losing lanes, and leave immediately. Okay, so let me go ahead and type that out here. Use shield on W more. Use power cord more. So don't, like, you should always just use your power cord after you use your third spell. Very often you should, because you don't want to waste extra spells. You're losing power cords. Be more conservative with summoners. They didn't really make you pay that time, but they could have if they came down earlier when your flash and exhaust was down. Level W more, especially in losing lanes. And leave immediately if enemies might dive and kill you. So it's one thing if they sneak up on you, but if you see them in the bush, you definitely should get out of there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and black screen this really quickly, and then we'll switch to our final game. Now that I know that if I exit out of this, then it's going to pop up that window. Okay, hold on, it's doing its thing, alright. And our third and final game, let's see, should be the 149. Is that correct? 149. Okay. So 3 games might be a little much for people in the future that want to see me just do laning phase, I think 2 is probably more appropriate. But Shad was really nice and polite and patient with this, because it has taken me a couple of days longer than I wanted to be able to get him this coaching session. So he's been really cool and patient. So I don't mind doing 3 for him. But for, you know, future reference, I think 2 for laning is probably a good deal. Okay. So let me go ahead and see here. Okay, so number 3. Now this one's going to have to be a little bit quicker, probably, because I have to roll out to class probably within like 8 minutes or so. So we'll speed it up. And I think you're kind of getting the gist here of like stuff you could work on. So the commonalities between both games are you want to use your W more efficiently in lane. You want to level it faster. Usually I would only get a max of 2 points in your Q, especially if you're behind in lane, and then switch over to your W so it's much more efficient. And just tell your laner to be more aggressive and really leverage that heal. Because remember, it sucks as just healing one person. You want to use the shield. You want to make sure you're in combat when you use it. And you want to direct your AD carry to be more aggressive when you use it. Also, your itemization, especially if you're behind, you should get regeneration items and just wait 1 extra back on your Sightstone. I know it's blasphemy, and I always say you need Sightstone and stuff first, but with Sona, especially in these situations where you're just getting beaten up early, you really need that mana regen. So it just helps tremendously. If you get that Reju Bead and triple Fairy Charm plus Ruby Sightstone early on. Because you're not really benefiting from the health of Sightstone. Or not Ruby Sightstone, but Ruby Crystal. You're not benefiting from the health because you're not an all-in champion typically. Like, health is always good, but regeneration is so much better on Sona in those early levels, like 1 to 5. Okay, go up, hit him. You're ahead. Go up. No, not Nautilus. You want Jhin. He's already low. Auto attack him, Q him right now. Right there, there you go. Every time that Q's off cooldown, you need to go up and put some damage on him. This guy's taking more damage than the last 2. He's leaving himself open. Now don't... Okay, right here. W. Get the shield on him. That's good. That's fine. You maybe should have exhausted there and tried to go all in. Because he was in your minion wave and he was really low. If you exhausted and just kept autoing him and Q'd him one more time, he was probably going to have to burn a heal or an exhaust. And your MF might have been able to turn it around. Like, Sona's very good early on in all-ins. Like, she's pretty good. Like, once you get that shield and that heal, it's really good. So I don't know what you leveled up here. Okay, 2 points in Q, that's fine. Okay, auto. Go ahead, hit him. I know he's got his thing up, but who cares? Just hit him with your Q. Like, you're going to heal it up anyways with your W. There you go. Yeah, get aggressive. Get aggressive. Like, you're both full health. Get up here. Get in his face. Like, ping him. And say, get this guy. Like, you're a little bit low on mana, but Misfortune has full mana. Like, you need to be pinging. So I'm going to say... tell ally to be more aggressive. Use W in combat. Now, you should be up in this dude's face. Now, don't get hooked under tower. You see Gragas middle. So you can get a little bit more aggressive here. Now, you see him fading to the right, I think. Watch where he's walking. He's fading. You got to be a little careful now because he just left middle. Even if you didn't see him fading, you should probably back up. This is where they would love to hook you right now. Is close to their tower when the minion wave's coming in. Alright, you got to... I was about to say you got to juke this, but they gave up on it. Now, obviously, you couldn't see Gragas like I could, but as soon as he's middle lane and you're pushed up that much and he just disappears, he's probably coming bottom. because you're very vulnerable. Like, you have to realize when you pick Sona, like, you've got a bullseye on your head. People want to kill you. I'm not sure if Flash is necessary there, but maybe. Now they're definitely coming for you. You need to leave. You need to leave. Yeah, he's dead. Be more careful with sums. So they did make you pay for it that time. I talked about this in game 1, how if you use your summoners, junglers will make you pay for that. Okay, this is good. But yeah, so this ward had faded out also, so you may not know that he's going to lane gank like that. But you know he's bottom side because he was just there, probably. Like, there's at least a chance he could be bottom side. And your ward had gone out here also. So he could have just walked through here again and, like, wrapped around to kill you. So, yeah, once you use your flash like that, you need to back up, especially when you're low mana. So this is another one where I would... You are getting ganked a lot, but... I don't know. I would buy a control ward. I would split the difference and just buy a control ward and set it right here. Control this area, then you can see if he blast plants over. Buy a control ward, just a couple of fairy charms, a reju bead, and a sight stone. Just to really, like, put the screws in him here. Because you should be... Are you ahead? You're basically even on CS, which shouldn't happen with how much you guys had this guy low early on. Alright, I'll speed it up a little bit here. Let me back that up a little bit here. Okay, yeah, you just standard got hooked. Just keep running. Now turn around and hit him. He shouldn't have his hook anymore. Okay, yeah, that's bad. You can use your E there to potentially dodge. So you just got hooked on that one. I think. Let me see. Did you step out in front of the wave? Yeah, it's a bit dangerous. You should have exhausted faster, I think. Ping her back. Now, they were about even on items. That's just Nautilus being a lot stronger to 2-on-2 at this point. Because your poke isn't going to matter as much as his all-in if they catch you open. So, be care, open field. Okay, so be careful of open field Nautilus. Once again, boots are probably helpful here. Okay, this looks good. No, she's too slow. It's unfortunate. Yeah, you probably want some boots. Boots really help you walk around and ward better, too. I know this gives you the gold, but I would definitely get more regeneration items early here again. So they're definitely going to be ahead. So you need... what is he buying? Oh, he's buying Edge of Night first. That's interesting. What is... Yeah, they're really far ahead. Now, Jace is missing. You got to get out of there. You got to run now. Okay, you definitely see him. Like, he just walked through this. Okay. Careful for the channel. Run down here. Run to her. Run to her. Run to her. Stand still. Stand still. Stand still. Okay, well, he just... I have no idea what happened there. But you want to walk as close as you can to that person. Not close enough to where the splash damage is going to hit you. But walk fairly close and then stand perfectly still. and let them, like, adjust around you if they're trying to block for you. Speed this up a little bit more. Okay, good. That's a good ult. Great. Nice combo. Eve comes in, cleans him up. You could have maybe W'd there. Do you have your exhaust? You don't have exhaust. Yeah, it's fine. Zed's coming down. Okay. You're gonna break the tower. Okay, so yeah, this looks pretty good. Overall, yeah, you're in a decent spot here. Like, bot lane got pretty crushed, but the other lanes are doing all right. So if you just chill a little bit, get you some boots, just ward up, and just go help mid lane, just play around Zed, you should be okay. Just make some ganks with Zed and Eve, rotate around, get good vision. You should be able to pull this one out. I don't remember if you win this one or not, but it's certainly possible. Now, where are you? Backed on that? Okay. Alright, but that's it for the laning of this one. I think we're at about an hour. Okay. Yeah, we're at an hour 11, so that's your money's worth. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good bargain there. Let me go ahead and black screen it again and exit out of all this stuff. And then we'll go over kind of the final notes. And then I have to go because I'm might be like a minute or two late here, this meeting that I have. Okay. Alright, so in this game, same deal. Use W in combat more. Use W more efficiently. Be careful with summoners. I think that you could have just used a W to heal yourself or exhaust, where you use your flash. You definitely want to have your flash to get away from ganks. Be careful of repeat ganks if flash is down. Watch out for Nautilus in the open field. And then once again, I would just buy some more regeneration items early on, just so you can really press your advantage and level up your W more in lane. Especially once they get ahead. Once they're really far ahead and you can't fight them, you can't all-in them anymore with your Q, then you want to make sure that you're using, you're leveling up your W so that you have more efficient heals. Okay, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in a coaching session yourself, be sure to check out in the description. You can see my email. You can ask about it. I'll give you the details. It's $20 donation. It would look very similar to this. Like I said, in the future, probably I can review 2 videos if you just want to see the laning phase, or a more traditional look at the entire VOD and talk about the entire VOD, including team fighting and late game types of strategic choices. So I can do either one of those. I can also play any champion that you want during stream for a $15 donation. So if you want to see me play your favorite champion, you can do that. Or for $20, I'll do a guide over your favorite champion or about a topic of your choice that you're interested in. So I have upcoming guides for Bard, Soraka, Karma, and Taric, and I also have a warding guide and an itemization guide coming up soon. So that's another thing if you want to donate to the channel that could be pretty helpful. So anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks again to Shad. I really appreciate the donation, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful evening.